Good morning, everybody. Hope that your day is off to a good start. Today we are looking at some lessons from Isaiah chapter 21. And I actually want to pull two lessons out of here, and both of them relate to prophetic elements that are involved with this particular chapter. The first one is found in verse 6. Now, in the first 10 verses of chapter 21, Isaiah is giving the message about the coming destruction of Babylon. And remember the time frame for how these prophecies are being given. Isaiah is making these prophecies around 700 to 715, 720 maybe BC. The fall of Babylon isn't actually going to take place until around 536 BC, 539 to 536 BC. And so we're talking about almost 200 years between the time that Isaiah is going to make these prophecies and the time that they're actually going to take place. As a matter of fact, at the time that Isaiah is going to make these prophecies, Babylon isn't even the big world empire that we generally know her as at this particular time. She is a nation, she exists as a nation, but she is not the kingdom under Nebuchadnezzar or any of those types of things at this particular time. That being said, when you come to verse number 6, he says, "For thus said the Lord, or has the Lord said to me, Go set a watchman, let him declare what he sees. And he saw a chariot with a pair of horsemen, a chariot of donkeys, and a chariot of camels. And he listened earnestly with great care. Then he cried, A lion, my Lord, I stand continually on the watchtower in the daytime, and I set my post every night. And look, here comes a chariot of men with a pair of horsemen. Then he answered and said, Babylon is fallen, and all her carved images of her gods he has broken to the ground." When you look at these verses, there is this statement that is made about these two chariots of horsemen. One of them is a chariot of donkeys, the other a chariot of camels. One of the interesting things I found in doing some reading about this particular chapter yesterday is that when you look back in history and you look to the Medo-Persian Empire, you have Cyrus, who is the Persian king, the great Persian king, who is actually going to take over the city of Babylon when the Medo-Persians take over the Babylonians, who was well known for having a chariot or having an army that was filled with camels. And then you have Darius the Mede, who is going to be well known for the donkeys that his army takes with them as they travel through the battles and so on and so forth. And so because of this, you have this chariot of donkeys, this chariot of camels, and it specifically is applicable to the armies of the Medo-Persian Empire. And it's going to be the Medo-Persians that are going to be the conquerors of Babylon. So here, nearly 200 years beforehand, Isaiah is giving a picture of the two armies that are going to eventually lead to the demise and the downfall of the people of Babylon. The second thing that I wanted to point out is found in verses 11 and 12, where here you have the burden against Duma, as it's stated here in Isaiah. The indication seems to be that this is a message against Edom, because you also have the statement, he calls me out of Seir. Mount Seir is the main mountain. It is also the main fortress of the Edomites. The Edomites are the cousins of the children of Israel. They are the descendants of Esau, whereas Israel is the descendants of Jacob. And the Edomites and the Israelites have never been close as far as that goes. They have always been at odds with one another. They have almost always been on opposing sides of the various conflicts that take place. And in verses 11 and 12, you have this message to Edom. Watchman, what of the night? Watchman, what of the night? The watchman said, "The morning comes, and also the night. And if you will inquire, inquire. Return, come back." The message of the watchman, he's talking about it, or he's being called to in the midst of night. These things that are going on, these darkness, these woes, these problems are the bringing of night. And Isaiah here is taking the place in his message of the watchman. And so the watchman receives the cry of, what about the night? When is it going to end? When is all of this going to stop? And the message that comes is, there is morning that is coming. There's going to be a reprieve. There's going to be daylight dawning in the midst of this night. However, there is more night that is coming as well. And so you have this sense in Isaiah's message that while they're going through troubles and they're going through trials right now, there will be a reprieve. There's going to be a time when all of that will cease for a while. And everything will seem to be okay. But there's more night coming. There is another night on the horizon. And for the Edomites, that is going to mean that they are going to suffer problems and persecution, and they are dealing with those things now, but there will be a period where things are going okay before night comes to them again. Those are some of the things that I've pulled out of chapter 21. I'll be waiting and interested to see the same things that you've seen in this particular chapter. Tomorrow, we will pick up with a reading and a look at chapter 22. I hope you have a great day.